Good morning. I literally don't even know what to say right now. I just, but I promised I would make a video, and I am. Sorry that I'm like overly tired because I am. Um, I I still want to continue of what faith will do whatever it takes, and I you do some crazy things when you want something really bad. So I've been driving to Pittsburgh every Sunday. It's a 2 hour drive for me. And that's where I've been attending church. And I love it. And there are churches. I can walk to a church where I live. I can walk to a couple churches. I can drive 2 miles maybe to a great church. I've never been there, but I've heard great things, and I've listened that pastor used to come and minister when I was at New Life. And I did consider it. But when I left my church in August, I said, I'm not church shopping. I said, that is stupid. And I'm going to pray and go where I feel led to go. And I only missed one Sunday, and I watched him online. And I was wanting to come a couple times to this church, and I just never pulled the trigger just to come to one of the events. And I watched online, and I was like, I'm going. So beginning of every month, they have a spiritual emphasis weekend. And they had all night prayer. So that was till 2 o'clock. And if you know me, number one, I don't like driving. And number two, I'm waking up at 2 a.m. I'm not going to bed at 2 a.m. So I was like, I'm doing this because I want to grow spiritually. It's spiritual emphasis. And I need my faith stretched. So I came here, and I was just like, Lord, you're going to strengthen me. And he did. And I was in church for 7 hours. And I know that's hard for people to fathom because they can't even hardly stand 30 minutes. And it didn't feel like it. We worshiped for an hour. He preached, and then we prayed for like a solid 2 hours. And it never, at 1 o'clock, I started to feel it. I was like, okay, push through. But that was the beginning. And I was like, I want more. So every Sunday, I've gotten up. I'm up early anyways, but I'm here for the 8 o'clock service. And every Sunday confirms something. And I even came on a Wednesday. I went, and I didn't tell anybody, so whoever's watching, now you know. But I went right after work, and I just checked in. I'm at this hotel, and I've been here a few times, so now the guy's like, oh, you're back. But it had church on Wednesday. I felt I needed to be here, and got up and drove back to work and never said a word. But when you want something real bad, you go after it. And this weekend, he had a crusade at Highmark Stadium. And again, I don't like driving. And so, I was nervous because this is like in the heart of Pittsburgh. So you're having to deal with like traffic and hills and all this stuff. So thankfully it wasn't at night. Well, it was at night, but it was still daylight. And I probably have like hand marks in my steering wheel from gripping it. I told Mom, I was like, I'm glad I didn't have an energy drink because my heart was pounding out of my chest. But to just experience that, and in the city of Pittsburgh coming in, some people probably came out of curiosity. They did do outreach and advertise for it, but it was within 2 weeks. This wasn't something that they've been planning for a long time. But I want to be a part of it because I know there's more for me. And so faith will do whatever it takes. And I haven't got a lot of sleep. As you can tell, I'm really struggling this morning, but I can't explain what's going on the inside of me. And all of the events that have been leading up to this, I'll get into that probably later on, but not right now. But I can't explain it, and I know there's so much more. So when you want something so bad, you go after it. And that's what we talked about last week, was get the expectation, get your goals, get a vision, and get it before you. And then you got to act on it. You got to do whatever it takes to make that come about. And it can be anything. It doesn't even have to be church related. Everything I do is church related. But whatever you're desiring, set it before the Lord, get a plan, and then let him guide your steps. And that's what I told the Lord. I said, I want my footprint to get in your footprint, because I know he's already paved the way, and I want to make sure I'm in step and I'm going in the right direction. And so I just want to encourage you, no matter what it looks like, as long as you're listening to the Lord, don't go by feelings. Don't go by circumstance. As long as you're hearing clearly and you're doing what he tells you to do, it's all going to work out. And Pastor Nancy has a great teaching called, provisions in the plan. And it is. I experienced that a couple years ago when I was struggling, and I just made sure I was hearing clearly, and the money always came, the opportunity always came, and I took it. So that's what I want to get at today, is that faith will do whatever it takes. And I'm telling you, growing up in a small town, everybody's like family. And so we got the news about an individual in our town that was in a near fatal crash. And so right away we're sharing the post, we're praying. And I said, I'm standing in the gap, because it was a healing crusade. And before I even got there, we're getting updates that she was being responsive. I guess it was real bad. I don't know all the details, but the first thing he said, normally it's like, we're gonna believe that cancer dies, and it's, all, and you list like illnesses, and the first thing he said was car wrecks and strokes, and she had 2 strokes right after the crash. And I'm like, okay, and I'm standing in the gap for her, and I'm believing for a miracle. And no, God did not orchestrate, her to get in a crash and me to be here. That's stupid. But I'm believing that she's walking out of this, literally walking out of this. And it's just amazing to me how things work. But don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on the vision. Keep it before you, and act on it. Do whatever it takes, and just make sure you got a pure heart, and that you're listening clearly. You're not going by emotion. You're not jumping out ahead of God. So I love you, and we'll be back.